the situation ahead of the elections, and now it's less than a month. On 14th November, we will know exactly who has won the battleground Bihar. But before that, whether it's the Mahagathbandhan, which is yet to finalize and announce their seat-sharing formula, nobody knows which party is going to fight how many seats. The candidate lists are yet to be announced. It's kept the candidates in the Mahagathbandhan on the edge. On the other hand, despite getting their seat-sharing formula 2 days back, there is still anger, dissatisfaction in the NDA as well. Now, I want to take this one by one as far as both these camps are concerned. The confusion of the Mahagathbandhan is something that I want to talk about first, whether it's the RJD, the Congress party, whether it's the CPI-ML, or in fact, the first family of the RJD, everything seems to be at this moment on the edge because they are yet to figure out their game. Let's talk about all this one by one. And these cracks in the unity of the Mahagathbandhan are going to, in fact, are giving the opposition, whether it's the NDA or Chirag Paswan, or Prashant Kishore, all of them, a lot of ammunition to attack the opposition, which is hoping to dislodge Nitish Kumar-led NDA in the state of Bihar. Now, let me start by one. First, let's talk about the RJD. In the RJD, Lalu Prasad Yadav, after coming back from Delhi, gave symbols. It is basically, verbally telling somebody, that 7 candidates, that your nomination is sorted. You can go ahead and file the nomination. Lalu Prasad Yadav's son, Tejashwi Yadav, came back and called all of those MLAs back, which has created a lot of discontent. Whether they get the seats or not, it's going to be very, very interesting to see. These are the pictures of those MLAs, those candidates getting the seats from Lalu Prasad Yadav, and then Tejashwi Yadav calling them back and saying, wait, I am the last word as far as the seat distribution is concerned. And amidst all this drama, Tejashwi Yadav himself today has gone ahead and filed his nomination. So Tejashwi Yadav, while keeps his candidates waiting, goes today and files his nomination from Raghopur constituency. This is absolutely bizarre, where the Senapati or the captain of the team has gone and filed his nomination while the entire team is waiting about the other 10 players who are going to be part of this playing 11. It's an absolute bizarre situation which is taking place and which is creating anxiety, confusion among the candidates and also the supporters of the RJD and the Mahagathbandhan. Move from here to, in fact, the Congress camp. What's happening with the Congress party, the other constituent as far as the Mahagathbandhan is concerned? Hectic meetings, one after another, in the Congress as well. Before I talk more about the Congress party, let's first listen into what Tejashwi Yadav said about this confusion after he filed his nomination. Listen in.
बहुत लोग हवा उड़ा रहे थे कि 2 जगह से चुनाव लड़ेंगे, 2 जगह से चुनाव लड़ेंगे। देखिए, तेजस्वी तो 243 सीट पे चुनाव लड़ रहा है, लेकिन अगर एक सीट की बात आती है तो हम पहले से ही राघोपुर लड़ते आए हैं और केवल राघोपुर ही से हम चुनाव लड़ेंगे। बाकी हमारा महागठबंधन 243 पे लड़ रहा है, यानी तेजस्वी 243 सीटों पर चुनाव लड़ रहा है। अब लोग चाहते हैं जो पुरानी 20 साल पुरानी जो खटारा सरकार है, अब बदलाव चाहते हैं और बदलाव होकर के रहेगा।
आपस में स्पर्धा है एक दूसरे से आगे बढ़ने का, और अभी तो इंडी गठबंधन के साथ जो कुछ लोग जुड़े हुए हैं, आज तक भी एनडीए के तरफ जो है अपना प्रयास जारी रखते हैं। डिप्रेशन में जब कोई चला जाता है, हताशा में जब चला जाता है, तो क्या बोलता है उनको खुद मालूम नहीं है। नेता लोग हताशा में क्या बोल रहे हैं महागठबंधन के, उनको खुद मालूम नहीं है।
Right, so that's the RJD trying to keep its flock together. On the other hand, the Congress party, which is yet to name the number of seats it's going to get as far as the Mahagathbandhan is concerned, Meeting after meeting, their committee, the election committee of the Congress party met in the national capital. Some people came out, disgruntled workers. That happens with every political party when the numbers are not decided. But this also tells you the anxiety as far as the Bihar workers are concerned of the Congress party. The party says 50 names have been finalized. Who are these names? When will they be announced? How many total seats? How many of these have to file the nomination in the first phase? Those answers are yet to, in fact, come from the Congress and the Mahagathbandhan. Meanwhile, the third big constituent of the Mahagathbandhan, the CPI-ML, in a very strange case, CPI-ML, remember, last time had a fantastic strike rate. They fought 19-112. They have been waiting patiently. They wanted more seats this time. Without the Mahagathbandhan deciding on their seat share, CPI-ML went across and announced first 18 candidates, then withdrew that list. And out of these 18 candidates, 6 have gone ahead and filed their nomination as well. Now, this has created absolute confusion as far as the Mahagathbandhan is concerned. Without people knowing anything about the seat sharing, there are constituents, those who are doing as they please. And if these are the signs to begin with, imagine the confusion there is going to be in the minds of the voters and the supporters of the Mahagathbandhan going into this crucial election. Let me jump to the other camp, the NDA. BJP today has released its second list of the candidates. 71 came in the first list, 12 came in the second list. But with this, the battle of Bihar within the NDA is also heating up. The war of words is only getting sharper as RLM chief Upendra Kushwaha, after making stinging comments, said that nothing is right in the NDA this time in Bihar. Kushwaha is adamant on certain seats, and that's why he's sending out these strong, jolt, stinging messages to the Bharatiya Janata Party, despite the NDA deciding on their seat share. Kushwaha was given 6 seats this time. Now, he was then flown off to Delhi, met Union Minister Amit Shah for an hour and a half. Sources have told NDTV that Kushwaha was adamant on the Mahua constituency, which has irked the LJP. Now, because the LJP was getting this seat, now sources say NDA is giving assurance to Kushwaha that his Rajya Sabha term, he will be renominated, and NDA is also considering the replacement seat as far as Mahua is concerned. Now, beside Kushwaha, HAM chief Jitin Ram Majhi has said that he was expecting at least 13, got 6, though he will stay with the alliance, but he has expressed his displeasure openly.
गठबंधन के कंटेक्स्ट में कुछ इशू है जिस पर विमर्श की जरूरत है, और इसी विमर्श के लिए हम और नित्यानंद राय जी माननीय गृह मंत्री जी के यहाँ जा रहे हैं। हम लोग आए, माननीय गृह मंत्री जी के साथ मुलाकात हुई और उस इशू पर विमर्श हुआ, और विमर्श के उपरांत अब हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि कोई कठिनाई आगे नहीं होगी। एनडीए की सरकार बिहार में निश्चित रूप से बनेगी। हर तरह से एनडीए में सभी घटक दल के लोग तैयार हैं।
कुशवाहा जी का सारा मामला हल हो चुका है और अब कहीं किसी तरह का कोई समस्या, कुशवाहा जी का सारा मामला हल हो चुका है और अब कहीं किसी तरह का कोई समस्या।
एनडीए ने बिहार विधानसभा चुनाव के लिए हमको 6 सीट आवंटित किया है। हमारी अपेक्षाएं थी कि हमसे कम 12-13 सीटें हमको मिलेगी, लेकिन 6 सीट मिली है। हमारे लोग बहुत असंतुष्ट हैं, कोशिश कर रहे हैं सबको समझाने का। हम भी असंतुष्ट हैं। एनडीए की सरकार बने, नीतीश कुमार जी के नेतृत्व में सरकार बने, ऐसी मेरी अपेक्षाएं हैं।
In all these rumblings, Chirag Paswan's party, LJP Ramvilas, has released the list of its first candidates. 14 names have been announced. Remember, in the seat sharing agreement of the NDA, Chirag Paswan has been seen as the biggest gainer with 29 seats going to his party. 14 names have been in fact released in the first list of the candidates which have been now announced by LJP Ram Vilas. Interesting because Chirag Paswan had repeatedly said that he also was keen or interested to fight the elections of Bihar. Whether he will find his name or not in the rest of the 15 candidates, let me go across first to my colleague Prabhakar, who is joining us with more details on this. Prabhakar, first, the list of LJP has come out. This comes out at a time when already JDU is not happy with the number of seats and certain seats which have been given, especially in Nitish Kumar's bastion to LJP. In all these rumblings, it's interesting that he has already announced 14 names.
Yeah, but as we are learning from our NDA sources that that matter has now been settled. So Chirag Paswan's seat allotment has actually not only dented into Nitish's bastion, has also dented into Jitan Ram Manjhi's bastion, and more interestingly into Upendra Kushwaha's area, Upendra Kushwaha's political zone, I would say. And that's the reason why you saw Upendra Kushwaha today traveling to Delhi, having an hour-long meeting with Home Minister Amit Shah. And here also yesterday evening, till late evening, the BJP leaders, including Nityanand Rai, they were trying to convince him as to agree on the seat. So because one particular seat called Mahua actually was allotted to Upendra Kushwaha, and later it went into the LJP's folder, which actually peeved Upendra Kushwaha, and he was very unhappy about it. And even the political speculation went to an extent that he might actually leave NDA on that particular seat issue. But somehow Chirag Paswan is the most pampered baby in all the NDA allies in Bihar. He has got a lion's share of seats, that is 29, is a substantial chunk of seats he has been allotted. And plus, he is getting seats of his choice, which is more important. So he has been able to, or the BJP leader somehow has rested their faith and trust on Chirag Paswan. That's the reason why he is able to have his way through.
Stay on with me, Prabhakar. Like we were discussing yesterday, it seems that he's the new young Dalit Bihari face that the BJP has put their political capital behind. I'm being joined by Amitabh Tiwari, political analyst, strategist, who is keeping a very close eye on the elections of Bihar. Sanjeev Srivastava, senior journalist, is also with me. But Prabhakar, before I go across to my guest, one quick question to you. What is happening with the Mahagathbandhan? It seems that there is Maha-confusion there. Tejashwi Yadav goes ahead, files his nomination. The Senapati has decided where he is fighting from, while his Sena is waiting, who are going to be in the playing 11 from the RJD.
Yeah, Maha-confusion is the right word actually, Ankit, as you pointed out, because Tejashwi Yadav has not only filed his nomination, but they have also handed over ticket to around 20 candidates. So these are the candidates whose names are almost confirmed. So there is no confusion regarding that. The RJD believes, and it has thrashed out with the alliance partners, that these tickets will go to RJD, and they have already the candidates decided over there, most of them the sitting ones. So they have also started filing their nominations. But you are rightly, as you rightly pointed out, the numbers are still been thrashed out. You see, Congress party has not released the official list. Neither has the RJD nor has the left party, or for that matter Mukesh Sahni. So all the alliance partners of Mahagathbandhan, of India Alliance, they are still waiting for the numbers to be freezed, constituencies to be freezed, and then to announce the candidates. And remember, there are just two more days to go. Today is 15th. 17th happens to be the last day. 17th, 3 p.m. would be the last day for filing nomination. So it would be a complete mad race. We are hoping that by late evening today, they will have to announce the names, announce the candidates, and as well as announce the constituencies which respective parties are getting.
You know, we are feeling, as journalists, feeling anxious about the list not coming out. I wonder how the people and the supporters of RJD would be feeling at this moment. Thank you, Prabhakar, for joining us at this moment. I mean, it's exciting, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen, the way things are panning out, as far as these elections are concerned. And very quickly, Amitabh Tiwari, let me begin by this. While I say that, as journalists, you would want to know who are the candidates, what are the permutation combination, who is in front of whom. Tejashwi Yadav today filing his nomination without the official list of the RJD coming out. I mean, does it send the kind of signals that you would hope to see from a Gathbandhan which wants to take on a formidable force of the BJP led NDA?
No, essentially, if we include LJP's 14 candidates, the NDA has announced candidates on 160 seats. That's roughly 65% of the total seats. Whereas we don't have any list from Mahagathbandhan yet. And this reminds me of the MVA experiment in Maharashtra, where despite leading 30-17 in the Lok Sabha and despite creating an environment or having an environment where the MVA would have dislodged the NDA government, similar issues had cropped up wherein the Congress, the NCP, and the Shiv Sena UBT were not able to even finalize the seat distribution. See, I'm not saying that there are not issues in NDA. We are seeing that there are issues in NDA also. But if the Mahagathbandhan was better prepared, had announced candidates, or even had finalized the seat agreement, then they would have been able to exploit these fissures within the NDA. But that is not the situation. So I think that is a self-goal by the Mahagathbandhan, because with so many partners, they should have foreseen that these problems would come. And also, I think there is some part to be given to efforts to manage rebels. I think they expect that rebels might field nominations from many seats, and they could spoil the apple cart. So that is also, I think, an issue. But I think the larger issue is consensus among them.
But Sanjeev Srivastava, the rebel problem is a problem that we see every election. I mean, this is part and parcel of the electoral politics. People will be disgruntled. There are many hopeful. They work 5 years. If they don't get tickets, and they would rebel. But the fact remains, politics we keep discussing is about optics as well. For a voter in Bihar at this moment, which is hoping that there is going to be possible change in the government, who doesn't want to, in fact, to see Nitish Kumar coming back as a chief minister, the kind of messaging, the kind of optics being presented by an absolutely fractured Mahagathbandhan are not going to increase his confidence, isn't it?
See, Ankit, good evening, and good evening, Amitabh. See, it never ceases to amaze me. Everybody and his uncle, and for that matter, aunt, knew that elections are around the corner. The nomination last date would be 17th or 18th or 19th, give or take 1-2 days, depending on when the ECI announces the schedule. They are having road shows, yatras, everything is happening. But why can't they at least have these backroom negotiations in advance? This is something which has fogged me ever since I became a journalist, honestly. Last 42 years, I have always seen this mad rush, last-minute confusion, especially in alliances. Where a party is in power, usually it doesn't happen if there is single-party dominance. But in alliances, it's a given story. They can never get their act together. So, just कहते हैं कि अगर भगवान पे विश्वास नहीं है तो भारत आ जाओ. So similarly, it is that kind of a thing that just the opposition, the way they play around in alliances, it's amazing. But also equally truthful is the fact that once the ticket list will be announced, these things will recede into background. Campaigning will come into play. And you were talking about rebels, and so was Amitabh, I think. Rebels will be a big issue. And that may be one reason to delay the official list of candidates, so that if the official list of candidates is officially announced on the last day and the real candidates are told a day in advance, they can go there, file their nominations. So catch the rebels by surprise. And here again, traditionally, because it's such a cadre-based party, one has seen over the decades that the BJP has a better way of managing rebels. 80% of their rebels.
But Sanjeev, can I interrupt and ask you this? We have seen this. Amitabh pointed out the question of Maharashtra as well. A similar kind of confusion. With Uddhav Thackeray wanting to be projected as the chief minister, not being projected by the Congress party. Same parallel with Tejashwi Yadav, RJD saying he's going to be the chief minister, Congress not agreeing. Confusion over number of seats, who's going to fight from where. And it did cost him that election. The confusion in the end and the candidate selection did cost the election as far as Maharashtra is concerned. Does it mean that they have not learned their lessons?
They never do. And the fact remains, I still think that the Maharashtra Assembly verdict, rather scale of it, is still something which is beyond me. I can understand an NDA victory in Maharashtra, but the scale of it has surprised most people. But what happens is the opposition alliance has a problem. If the roadshow and a Jan Adhikar Yatra of Rahul Gandhi has done well and gone down well, while on the one hand it boosts the morale of the Congress and its workers, but it also creates complications for the Gathbandhan. Because the saying in that if the Congress morale goes up, it becomes a headache and a problem for the opposition alliance.
Yes.
Because then they demand a bigger pound of flesh, then their expectations go up. So there is a problem. See, RJD is clearly the big brother. And frankly, the left is a very solid bloc. I think left is, if anything, stronger on ground than the Congress party even.
Absolutely.
Bihar.
I mean, when you talk about cadre-based support, I don't think so there is any other party which has a dedicated cadre, whether they win or lose, like the left parties. We've seen that, in places after places. But Amitabh, very quickly come in on this. While we are talking about the Maha confusion in the Maha Gathbandhan and how it possibly is going to be perceived by the voters and their own supporters, let's also not forget, like we are talking about, it's not all well in the NDA camp as well. In fact, I was speaking to a few sources. There are still those rumblings whether Mukesh Sahani can switch over to the other side and Upendra Kushwaha could replace him in the Maha Gathbandhan. With this kind of confusion within the NDA as well, with Chirag Paswan becoming a very strong third wheel which has rubbed, except BJP, all other constituents the wrong way, how do you see that playing out in the upcoming election?
Essentially, Chirag Paswan brings that 5%, 6% vote share, dedicated, loyal vote share of the Paswan community. And we've seen in the last election when he contested separately, it did damage the NDA, particularly the JDU, and the contest became very close. So he has that bargaining chip, you can say, in a very close contest. Also with now Jan Suraj emerging as a third force and others always playing spoil sport in Bihar, and also with a 20-year of, you can say, a natural fatigue or an anti-incumbency there. See, what happens is that when political parties make decisions regarding seat distribution, once they concede the space, then that becomes the base. So if Hum and RLM accepted only one seat each as Lok Sabha, then it is very, very difficult for them to get anything beyond 6 Vidhan Sabha seats. At that point of time only, they should have challenged the 5 Lok Sabha seats for LJP. Correct? So now that becomes the base, because there has to be some base. 2020 cannot be the base because LJP contested separately. So 5 Lok Sabha seats mean 30 Vidhan Sabha seats. And the chap was leading in 29 Vidhan Sabha assembly segments. Correct? That's also true. So, and both the parties, I would say even BJP has conceded 9 seats from its quota and 14 have gone from JDU. So 23 and 6 from other smaller parties like VIP had contested. See, from the Mahagathbandhan perspective, one data very important is that it is very, very easy to distribute seats because there are only 123 seats which RJD has won at least once in the last 3 elections post delimitation, and Congress only 36. So that makes it only 160 seats for these two players, and roughly 80 remaining to be resolved between other partners.
These numbers, optics, how will they play out? Because 17th is when the first list, when the nomination for the first phase will be over. 121 candidates from all parties will be putting out their best foot forward. How do voters see these confusions? We will have to wait and see. And we'll keep talking about this, bringing you all the ground level analytics, the data from our experts and opinions as well. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me on this story.